Peace, brothers and sisters. The new video, this one is the issue in Shia Shahada got caught Shamsi versus Shia speakers. Okay, let's listen to this video. And this video, I actually used it for a reason, but I'll tell you the reason after.
الآن أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله وأشهد أن صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشهد أن علي ولي الله ولي الله والله I swear by Allah, Imam Ali was nothing more, nothing less than a servant of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was servant of Allah first. A servant of Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was servant of Allah, yeah, but what do you mean by servant? He served the Prophet Muhammad all his life. Yeah, but all Sahaba served Prophet, especially Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam for 33 years of his life. Am I right or wrong? 33 years, but was he not the first one to accept Islam? Huh? Was Imam Ali not amongst the first to accept Islam? No doubts about that, but Abu Bakr served him for a long time too. Okay, alhamdulillah, look, this is what I'm saying, yeah? Ali, but you know, just one thing to ask you. You know when you say this, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله وأشهد أن علي ولي الله. Did the Nabi عليه الصلاة والسلام? No. Let me finish. When the Prophet Muhammad عليه الصلاة والسلام came and called Abu Jahl and the Arab pagans, look, he's asking. When he called the Arab pagans to Islam, did he tell them the Shahada you said?
Okay. Now, you're talking about Shahada. The Shahada, the Shia Shahada is different than the Sunni Shahada, and he's asking him, where did your Shahada come from? About the Shia guy. He said, where did your Shia Shahada come from? Because the Rasul, he didn't say it, okay? Because this is saying the Hadith. He didn't say, Allah didn't say it, okay? God didn't say it in his book. So basically, they're talking about their books.
In that time, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was. شكرا أبو شكرا At that time, in the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't know what's going on. He was the representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there was who was the representative? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. He was the prophet, the messenger of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the representative of Allah upon earth. At Bayt al-Qadir, right before he passed away, he raised the arm of Ali ibn Abi Talib and he said, if I am your Mawla, Ali is your Mawla. I'm not doubting that, but I'm asking you. That's what I'm saying. I'm explaining.
Okay, now, he's telling him when the Prophet died, there's a hadith telling him Ali is his, I don't know, closest or something. Anyway.
No, I'm not saying why you believe. I'm up.
Ali is one of the Prophet's companion, one of them.
When he was calling people to Islam, before they accept Islam, what shahada they said? What shahada? They never said أشهد أن علي ولي الله. No, this came afterwards. This came in Bayt al-Qadir. After Bayt al-Qadir, no problem. Everybody gave bayat. No, where Ali told the people, before become Muslim, you have to say that. No. This. Wait, one second. Wait. No, let me just say this. No. It makes you. Wait, 1 second. To be a Muslim, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. This makes you Muslim. Ali ولي الله makes you a mu'min. Who does say that in the Quran? This makes you.
And saying a couple of words makes you a Muslim does not make sense. Really does not make sense. It's nothing to do with Islam at all. Because otherwise there'd be a lot of hypocrites, isn't it? About, like, I have to force you to say those two words. You say them. You would just say them with open heart. But do you really mean them? That's the thing. That's what Islam is. Not what you say, it's what you do.
In the Quran, in chapter 4, verse 59, Allah says, Allah is your guardian, obey Allah, and then obey Rasulullah, then obey the Ulil Amr. No, before that.
Okay, now you need to see this verse. You know, when you use these verses like this, you call them similar verses or mutashabihat or that. Basically, the verse that has not doubt, but if you're trying to translate it, you can't translate it how you want. You can't interpret it. You know what I'm saying? When you take things out of context, anyone can just explain it the way they want. And then, obviously, we're going to have 200 million ideas about the same verse. But if you use it in the right way, like with wisdom, like putting the right thing. What wisdom is? What is wisdom? Wisdom is putting the right things in the right places, you see. that's why the Quran has to be read with wisdom, because you learn, Allah teaches you how to put things in the right places, you see. But when you follow other people, it always takes you astray. Look, because obviously the Shia, you have one explanation, and the Sunni have one explanation.
No, no, no. In the Quran, look, Shah, if I bring a hadith from the Sunnah, you're not going to accept it. You tell me, no, you're not going to accept it from the Sunnah. Okay. You accept it.
From your books.
No, no, okay, Sahih. No problem. Sahih Bukhari, Prophet said, the best people after me, Abu Bakr and Umar. Would you accept that?
Also Sahih Bukhari.
No. You accept it, yes or no?
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And this one, they've got their own, they've got the Bukhari, and they've got the Kafi. Shia have the Kafi, and they don't believe in each other's hadiths. And the hadiths came from almost the same people as well. That's what they're claiming as well. So both hadiths that claim, they both claiming come from the Prophet's closest people. Okay. So it's, and then both books contradicts each other, and they both don't accept each other's books because they're following something that they're not supposed to be following, which is people and idols. Okay, and then they hide from you who we're supposed to be following. Okay, we can explain that in the Quran. Okay. The reason I played that video to show you, give you a proof that both Sunnis and Shia, or the other sects, they talk more about people than they talk about the Quran. Okay. And when they get verses, okay, they just use them out of context, and each one of them has his own explanation, okay? And the verse that they're using is actually talking about something entirely different. Okay, now, when I look in the Quran, you know when he said like follow the Prophet and follow Allah, follow the Messenger, follow Allah, follow the Messenger, follow Allah, follow the Messenger. Okay, that takes me back. If you read the Quran with an open mind, okay, and an open heart, and the way God wants you to read it and understand it, you come up with one conclusion and one conclusion only. Okay, not two, not three, not 1.5. Okay. Now, when I go in the Quran and read it all, okay, and then I understand it, I go and look for who we're supposed to be following, okay? Who are we supposed to be following altogether? Okay. We need an example, okay? So we need to be following an example. And that example is in the Quran, 100% in the Quran, because God said, we're giving you every example, okay? So the example is in the Quran. So when you read the Quran, you understand the Quran, you know that we all should be following our Prophet Abraham, okay? Because he actually set the deen. Obviously it's always Allah, but he chose him to set the deen from the beginning. He actually began the deen, which is Islam. Okay? Although it was before him, they're all Muslims, but he set the deen, he set the basis of the deen. It started from Abraham. And God done it that time for a reason. Okay? Abraham came with the first, we call it Al-Wah, but he came with the first book, which is legislations. Who done it is Abraham, innit? First legislations come from Abraham. So, I'm going to read you some verses, okay, from different verses. I didn't put them like in order, but it doesn't matter because they're easy to understand. Okay, verse Ibrahim, Surah Yusuf, chapter 38, verse 37. Now, here, the Prophet Yusuf is talking to a couple of prisoners with him in prison, okay? So he's talking to them. So, قال لا يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبأتكما بتأويله قبل أن يأتيكما ذلك قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون. Okay, this is the verse before the verse I'm talking about. Because we don't use verses out of context. So I have to read you the verse before it. Okay, to know what he's talking about. Okay, I'll say in English. He said, if any food provided to you, I can inform you about it before you receive it. This is some of the knowledge bestowed upon me by my Lord. I have forsaken the religion of people who do not believe in God, and with regard to the hereafter, they are really disbelievers. That means he's in prison now, talking to his prisoners, and he told them that he left the religion of people that disbelievers, and he actually chose to follow the right path. Okay, and then that's the verse that's important here. Verse 38 from the same chapter. واتبعت ملة آبائي إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء ذلك من فضل الله علينا وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون. See the majority here as well. The majority here is not a good thing, it's actually a bad thing. What he's saying is followed, okay, in English. And after leaving his people's religion, yeah? Okay? And the word religion here, yeah? The word religion here, okay? It's not really a religion. It's not the word religion, because religion is deen, okay? But Allah calls it a millah, okay? What a millah is the way to look for Allah, or to worship Allah. A way. There's a way, and God has the best way, which is the millah of Abraham, okay? When I read all these verses, you understand Allah is telling us all to follow the way Abraham, the Prophet Abraham, worshipped Allah. Okay, because the millah it doesn't change in the Quran. It's the same word. You can't take it out of context and use it however you want. You see, because it means the same thing. It's the way. Okay, it's the way. That's what millah means. Okay, it's not deen. It's not religion. It's a way. Okay. Let's listen to this in English. And I followed instead the religion of the millah, let's say the way of my ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We never set up any idols besides God. Such is the blessing from God upon us and upon the people, but most people are unappreciative. See, most people is used here again, not in a good way. Okay, so Joseph followed the path of Abraham. Okay, the way Abraham. Let's say the path of Abraham. Al-An'am, chapter 6, verse 84. Now, you see, I explained to you why. You know, this verse when Abraham said, a blessing. This is a blessing from Allah. So we're going to look where this blessing come from. So we go to Surah Al-An'am, chapter 6, verse 82. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ, he's talking about Abraham here. God is talking about Abraham. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ إِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ كُلًّا هَدَيْنَا وَنُوحًا هَدَيْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِهِ دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ وَأَيُّوبَ وَيُوسُفَ وَمُوسَى وَهَارُونَ وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Okay, Abraham, okay, Allah gave him all this. It's like a tree. Abraham on the top, and all these prophets, he was given Allah his kids, and basically his but they all have the same message. They don't have idols. Yeah, that's the whole point of the whole thing. Okay, and then we're going to read it in English. And we granted him Isaac, Jacob, and we guided both of them similarly. We guided Noah before that, and from his descendants we guided David, Solomon, Job, Joseph, Moses, and Aaron. We thus rewarded the righteous. They're all righteous. You see, this is all our righteous people. This is what we should be looking for. The righteous people, that we can follow them. But the top of the tree is a prophet Abraham. Okay? Okay, now, another verse. Now, this is God talking to the prophet, telling him what to say. Okay? قُلْ verses, Surah Al-An'am, chapter 6, verse 161. قل إنني هداني ربي إلى صراط مستقيم دينا قيما ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. Okay, in English, so say, my Lord has guided me in a straight path, the perfect way of Abraham. See? Perfect way of Abraham. Monotheists. He never was an idol worshipper. See? It's all about worshipping. It's all about monotheism. It's all about monotheism. That's what's important. Okay? That's how Abraham. Okay? Surah Al-Nahl, chapter 16, verse 1 to 3. This is God talking to Muhammad. Okay? ثم أوحينا إليك أن اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. This is an order from Allah. This is a command. Then we inspired you to follow the way of Abraham. Monotheist, he never was an idol worshipper. Okay, simple, yeah? So Allah ordered Muhammad to follow the millah of the way of Abraham. Okay. Chapter 2, verse 130. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ وَلَقَدْ اصْطَفَيْنَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Okay? In English. Who would forsake the way of Abraham, except one who fools his own soul? We have chosen him in this world, and in the hereafter he will be with you righteous. See? The way of Abraham. The way of Abraham. Who? وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ مِنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. See? See, the best millah, the best way to worship Allah. Chapter 3, verse 67. ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما وما كان من المشركين. See? Okay? He didn't follow the way of the Christians. He didn't follow the way of the Jews, but he was a Muslim. Okay? He was a submitter. Okay? And he didn't have idols. Did not have idols. Okay? Now we go back. Abraham was neither Jewish nor Christian. He was a monotheist, submitter. He never was an idol worshipper. See? That's why Allah, when He says, مِلَّةَ وَلَنْ تَرْضَ عَنْكَ الْيَهُودِ وَالنَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. That means the Jews and the Christians will not accept you until you follow the way they worship God. Okay? He didn't say their religion. He said the way they worship God, because the religion is one. If you're going to say there's few religions, that's the wrong thing to say, because the deen is a religion, is the way of life. Okay? And millah, which is the way people like submit to God, that's a millah. That's not deen. Okay? And God gave us 3 millets. Okay? 3 millets. ملة إبراهيم ملة اليهود ملة النصارى وأرشدنا أن نتبع ملة إبراهيم. Okay? أن أرشد الرسول والرسل والأنبياء أن تتبع ملة إبراهيم. He even commanded his prophets and messengers to follow the way of Abraham. Okay? Now, it's not finished yet. Okay? And when we come back another time with another video, we find out what is Millat Ibrahim. Okay. Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3, verse 95. قُلْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. This is Allah, God, talking to Muhammad and tell him to say, to follow. He told the mu'mineen, his followers. So God instructed the Prophet Muhammad to instruct his followers to follow the way of Abraham. Okay? Say, God has proclaimed the truth. You shall follow Abraham's way. Monotheism. He never was an idolater. Okay? See, it's always with idols. It's always idols. That's why the way of Abraham doesn't follow any idols, and we come back and follow and basically study in the Quran the story of Abraham, and it's all there. Okay. Now another chapter, Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 54. أم يحسدون الناس على ما آتاهم الله من فضله فقد آتينا آل إبراهيم الكتاب والحكمة وآتيناهم ملك عظيما. Okay, see, this is about the hikmah as well, right? It's talking about the hikmah is the hadith. Okay, look what it says here. Are the envious of the people because God has given them, has showered them with His blessings. We have given Abraham family. See, family, it's a family tree. See, that's why God gives you an example of trees, because it always goes like a good tree always gives you good fruits. A bad tree gives you bad fruits. And this is a tree of Abraham, okay? And on top of it is Abraham. And we should be all following it. Because that is it. That is it. That is what the bases are. He constructed that. You see what I'm saying? Okay, the verse in English. Another. Yeah. Now we say in English. Are they envious of the people because God has said that already? Okay, so we're going to move on to the next verse. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 125. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ دِينًا مِمَّنْ أَسْلَمَ وَجْهَهُ لِلَّهِ وَهُوَ مُحْسِنٌ وَاتَّبَعَ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. This is the best verse. Not the best verse, it's just different because Allah added something here, okay? Added something very, very important to this verse. Although they all sound alike, but it's always an adding. It's always something that you have to notice yourself, you have to study, okay? That's how you look at the Quran. Every word is different, see? God doesn't just put words for no reason, okay? They have to mean something. Now, who is better guided in this way, in His way, than one who submits totally to God, leads a righteous life, according to the creed of Abraham, monotheism. God has chosen Abraham as a beloved friend. Well, it's not as a friend, but that's what it means in Arabic, the word Khalil, someone close to you. See? Someone close to you, okay? He did not say that word about any other prophet or messenger, but He said it about Abraham. So do I say Abraham is better than them? No, he's not better than them. You see, there's no one is better than the other. To me. To Allah is different. He made them, He knows. But to me, they're all the same. They all came with the same message. And that's why it's important to me. It's a message, not how He got to me or who said it or the message. When I read the message, I will know it's from Allah or not. Okay? Because I have a brain. See? And I can see it. Okay. Now we go to chapter 22, verse 78. وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ هُوَ اشْتَبَاكُمْ وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ هُوَ سَمَّاكُمُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِ وَفِي هَذَا لَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ شَهِيدًا عَلَيْكُمْ. See, شَهِيدًا عَلَيْكُمْ. A witness. وَتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِاللَّهِ هُوَ مَوْلَاكُمْ فَنِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ. Okay, listen to this verse very, very carefully. Yeah? You should strive for the cause of God as you should strive for His cause. Okay? Now His cause here. So there's a cause of God, and there's of God for second person here. Okay? God is talking about Abraham. Okay? In this way. You should strive for the cause of God as you should strive for His cause. He has chosen you and has placed no hardship on you in practicing your religion. The religion of your father, Abraham. And now God is talking about Abraham. Yeah, the first verse was about Allah, about God, and now He's talking about Abraham. He is the one who named you submitters, Muslims, originally. The messenger shall serve as a witness among you. See, it's the prophet. It's talking about Muhammad now. Yeah, you are a witness. That's what we're telling you, that you should all follow Abraham. You are a witness on the people you're telling them. You see, he was telling this to his companions or whoever people who were in there, a group of people, okay? And he's telling them to follow the way of Abraham, okay? And then he said he'd be a witness that he told them to follow the way of Abraham, okay? And then he's talking to the mu'mineen, to the believers here, okay? And you shall serve as a witness among the people. So, they are supposed to be witnesses. They have to witness among the people as well. If they change their minds, they have to tell them to follow the way of Abraham. Therefore, you shall observe salat and zakat and hold fast to God. He is your Lord, the best Lord and the best supporter. See guys, when you come back and you read the Quran and you put the verses together, and then you know there's an order. There's actually an order. There's a law from God. It's actually instructed us to follow who? Instead, to follow, instructed not just the people, not just the normal people, but instructed the prophets and the messengers to follow the path of Abraham. Okay? Although I accept I have to follow a certain prophet, Muhammad, because he came with a message. But when that message tells me to follow Abraham, then I stop following what Muhammad was doing or what he was eating or how does he eat, and do you know what I'm saying? I have to stop that. I have to follow, look for the story of Abraham, look for the truth, what Abraham was like. Look about this way Abraham worshipped Allah, and then you find it in the Quran. Okay? Simple. You don't follow hadith, you don't follow Bukhari, you don't follow Kafi, you don't follow people, any people, not imam, not a priest, not a rabbi, you don't follow nothing, you just follow the message. When you follow the message, you don't get lost. There's no contradictions. We're not going to split into 73 sects, okay? And we can never do that because we're reading from the same book. We're understanding it the same way. There's no way you can read the same book and be like different. It can't be different. When you use verses out of context, then you get lost. Like you always guys do. And then you get lost and then you're trying to explain it with a hadith. And it just makes no sense. Peace.